Spare any subs for a Dark and Darker streamer? It's a tough question. Is Dark and Darker dead? Spare any change for a Dark and Darker streamer? God bless you, sir. According to these internet strangers, it is. Spare any subs for a Dark and Darker streamer?
More than I do.
I most certainly do. Thank you very much, sir. Before you write in the comments,
The game is at the end of the season, white bro.
I'm aware of this. In fact, the Cycle Frontier had a tiny player count by the end of their Season 1, and look how the Season 2 wipe turned out. The reason for this video is, well, a lot of my current YouTube following enjoy Dark and Darker content. But right now in the OCE region, the game is unplayable for a solo player like myself. No, dude! Oh, why you got two dickheads here? Are you teaming, you c***s? You f***ing Discord c***s. This video is made with the intention to put to rest some of the questions like, why don't you stream the game anymore? Or, why don't you make videos on the game anymore, bro? Well, in short, this clip will explain it all. In fact, I made it in TikTok form to help people focus on the issue at hand. Ah, teaming c***s. It's already my first interaction. This is the state of this game. This is literally the state of this game. I'm out. I'm out. That's it. First game. First f***ing game. I'm just dealing with teaming c***s. I'm literally out. It's just, this game is cringe. Like, I want to love it and play it, but I can't. I f***ing can't. Teaming and cheating is so rampant, it's not really exciting to boot up the game anymore. Alright, can I have a bit of empathy my way, right? Because sometimes people see me a bit heated about the game, but I love this game and I don't want it to die. That's how passionate I am about it. I love it. But if you experience that, you'd be straight on Reddit writing a thesis going, you know what? With a typewriter, so you're like, and you do like an angry slide every time you finish the sentence. Dear developers, HR Solo is intended for solo players. Why the f are there people teaming in the f***ing solo HR? Fix the problem for f***'s sakes. Thank you. Still love your game. And that's without focusing on all the class imbalances alone. Or any other issues with the game in its current state. The title, Dead Game, is in jest a little. Spare any subs for a Dark and Darker streamer?
Every bit helps, right?
Amen, sister. Thank you very much. Spare any subs for a Dark and Darker streamer?
Just don't drink it away, okay?
I'll try not to. I'll try not to suck any in the bus shelter either. Thank you very much. Because usually when the player numbers of a game community dribble away into a small number like such, on this huge planet of 8 billion people, usually the online rhetoric becomes something like this. Now, before I deep dive into the current state of Dark and Darker and if it's truly dead and cannot come back with the coveted Steam release, I thought I'd self-advertise my new channel. This new channel will have new videos next month on it. I call it Contents Per Minute. It's content about content. A sideways commentary about content itself. If you liked videos such as the Video Game Mafia video or BattleBit, subscribe to the CPM channel today with notification bells clicked on. If you didn't and you like watching me die inside while playing against teamers and cheaters in Dark and Darker all day, then don't subscribe to that channel, because that content will not be featured there at all. Long story short, if you sub and don't watch the videos on there, that's literally f***ing me over, so don't do it. Alright, thanks guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, Now, the rest of this video is an edited recording of my live stream discussing the current status of Dark and Darker with you guys. The viewers, that is. It's a long one and not as comedic as my usual videos, so if you watch this, prepare for a bit of a TED talk about game design and all the circus around D&D's future. So, I guess it's time we dive in. Let's go. Power World tanking? Well, here's the deal, right? That doesn't mean Power World's a dead game. It's just most games these days, they all have a meteoric start, right? Dark and Darker had it. It's kind of like, it's almost like hookup culture with games. You know, you get your immediate gratification, have a cheeky tug, move on to the next. And not a lot of games have a consistent content cycle that keeps people coming back. I genuinely think the Battle Royale genre and the three titans that took over 5 years ago, which is Fortnite, Warzone, Apex Legends, they all have billion-dollar companies behind them that put like 1,000 staff to constantly shit out major updates every couple months that really do shift the game a lot and keep it fresh. Most studios can't contest with that, indie or AAA. It's just very, very tough to keep up with it. I won't name names because I shouldn't even say this, I feel, because I know someone who works in the industry in America, and they don't say anything too WikiLeaky, but they did say to me, right, the big studio, like big publisher that he works for, they don't touch Battle Royale or multiplayer anymore because it cannot contest in any shape or form with the big three titans, right? They just do single player now. And if they do multiplayer, it's just tacked on the single player project. A big publisher. And that to me speaks volumes. It's not that it's too saturated. It is too saturated, but it's dominated now by the ones that have printed money. Mr. Chris, like I said, the three titans of Battle Royale. So there's that. People just leave very quickly if the content isn't flowing. You know, if they're not having their balls stimulated every couple weeks, oh, I'm out, dead game, no content. Now, I'm not saying that's what needs to save Dark and Darker here, because it was proven the last major update that a big content update, like a new map and a couple new things, didn't really fix a lot of the gameplay loop issues that are making the game suffer right now, which is like the cheater teamer situation, right? You know, a lot of teaming.
Holy, there's 7 of them.
Balance issues. Say Barbarians dominated for just so long, and it's only just starting to like go down a bit with some of the axe changes, like the throwing axes and all that. That dominated for way too long. Like, it just made the game so boring for squads and solos, particularly solos. Like, you couldn't play Wizard for like 4 months, dude. 4 months, you saw a Barbarian, it was GG. And there would always be one nerd that would get out the bifocals and go, well, technically speaking, it is your hard counter, bro. Technically speaking. You know what I mean? And it's like, that rhetoric has kind of died down now. You know, people don't talk like that as much. I think people are realizing, after a lot of experience with the game, what is actually stagnating it right now. And it's, I would say it comes down to class balance issues and a gameplay loop. And if you think I'm talking arse, they've intended for a 3-tier system in this game with the maps since they did the first playtest. And look at us now. They're still experimenting with it and they can't make it work. They don't know how to get it working. Yeah, maybe they'll prove us wrong in 2-3 months. But as of this moment, people just play that first tier and they bugger off. The only people that don't are like the 1%, the top 1%, and they go farm as a squad the Inferno bosses, and that's it. And that would literally be like 1% of the player base. So most people fill up their inventory on Ruins or the Ice Map, Tier 1, and then they just leave. There is no going down. They said drastic balance changes, yeah, for the next 3 weeks. So we'll see. Again, to anyone who may misconstrued as we're talking right now, like I'm being a doomer, I hope not. This is just a chat with you guys about this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't go any deeper than just, hey, I've been playing the game just as much as you guys. This is how I feel about it. And I want the game to do really well. You know? I'm not a doomer guy. I don't like farming drama of like, oh, dead game! Oh, developers, listen, bro! Developing games is really hard. And that's why I opened up the discussion here with the fact that, you know, every game developer that tries to get into multiplayer is contesting with the big three. You know, Fortnite, Warzone, and Apex, the Battle Royales. I know this isn't a Battle Royale, but it always draws and pulls people away from products and playing other stuff because all their mates are playing that. You know, it's very like gaming is like, you know, like pop culture these days. It's all about trendy stuff. You know, are you playing the latest Gucci Armani game? Hey, look at, even though these games were good though, bear in mind, hold on, cut the tunes. One second, Jake. He said, am I looking forward to PvP Arena? No, because look what happened with Tarkov Arena. Tarkov Arena, that game. And I see the same thing happening with this. Unless they interweave it into the gameplay experience where it's like, oh, you win gear in the arena and then take it into the experience or something. But like Tarkov in this game, the actual original intended experience is what people played it for. Like, you don't go and play Tarkov to do a Call of Duty experience. You play Tarkov to f around and pick flowers and do quests and then shoot the odd dude that's camping in a bush and then run around and throw a grenade and flank someone and then loot their crap and then get the hell out of there. That's Tarkov. Not have a piano on your back and then play capture the flag. It doesn't work in that game. It's not intuitive for it. In this, what they intend to do with Arena is like a 3v3, you know, pick your build, pick your kit and then go at it. And then what will happen is that's the only reason people like the game anyway in the first place, was lots of PvP with a little bit of PvE sprinkled on top rather. And then that'll start dominating. People will just play that. It'll split the community, I reckon. That's my answer. Whether I'm right or wrong, that's up to you guys. But that's how I feel about it. I genuinely feel like it'll just split the community. So I'm 100% not excited for Arena. Like, just dead inside. Like you mentioned, oh, the developers are working on an Arena mode for this game. Crickets, dead inside. Look at this face, dead inside. That's literally how I feel about it, you know? Anyway, let's scroll through this real quick. I will flick through the chat and you know, bounce thoughts off with you guys. Just a little bit of fun, a little bit of reading Reddit, all right? Ruins his ass. That is all. Thank you. We already read through that. Most people are saying, hey, just get rid of, you know, separate the queues again and make Crypt its own queue. We're just going back full circle to like playtest 1 or something. I don't know. But I will agree that Ruins, for the way all the different classes are made and it works, like if you're playing solo or duos in comparison to trios, Ruins really works for like rangers and rogues, and then a lot of other classes will suffer because of the map design. Crypts just seems to work for the whole game. You know, it only makes rangers work in certain scenarios, blah, blah, blah. You know, like each class has its like pros and cons in Crypts, but you put them in Ruins and like a couple dominate. Went into a sabbatical. Well, we're talking about that now. Esoteric. That's what I'm getting. We're getting down to the bottom of it. You feel Arena's a mistake, even though it does sound fun. Yeah, dude. Look, here's the deal, right? If they were making Arena just a separate game, right? Just a separate game. Bang, I'm there. Like, let's go at it. But for them to like make a Mordau in the game, you're now making a separate game. Like, I hope they don't. I hope it's not what I think it is. I hope they prove me and everyone watching right now wrong, where it's like a well-integrated system that works with the other queues, but right now it's just adding another queue to the game. All right, another person bitching about Ruins should be removed from the game, or Crypts should be playable separately. Why do you have to go through the damn Ruins or to play Crypts? Or it's rather to play Crypts. The most beautiful map in the game is Crypts, and I just want to play it. Why are you so insistent on making us play Ruins? And again, their original intention with the 3-tier system, like, it just doesn't seem to work for a lot of people. I don't know if it's because they experienced Crypts before a lot, but I actually think it's what my suspicion is because that map is designed for how the game works. Like all the different classes. You know what I mean? Like, you're immediately in the action, and not only 2 classes dominate across the board over the other classes, you know? Like, for a lot of the modules in the spaces in Ruins, Rogue and Ranger will dominate. Not always win, I'm just saying they will dominate, and then the other classes follow. Old Goblin Caves was the arena? Yeah. I miss the old Goblin Caves. I never thought I'd say that. Maybe I should call up the devs. Yo, SDF. It's Spuddy. Yeah, the loud Australian guy. Yeah. No, it's Sydney server. Last Circle, HR. Yeah, Goblin Caves. The cheeky exit. Just please, come on, man. I've been giving you the names of the RM teamers. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, any second now, he said. Look at that. What? Dude. Streamer privilege, bro. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it on Reddit and all that bullshit. There's a design philosophy they didn't follow through with the other maps. Full blown potato. Correct. Exactly. That's how I felt since playing Crips, dude. Like Crips, it's not the visual aesthetic, it's the gameplay flow. It just works so well. Ruins was done roughly in 4 or 5 weeks. Maybe, and then they've just stuck with it. I don't know. The thing is, they should be aware of their design philosophy. As a rogue player, you hate Ruins. I think what you need to be doing on Ruins as a rogue is you're doing the double jump memes. A lot of those guys have learned all the trick spots. Like someone who's really good with double jump playing rogue, they feel untouchable on that map when they know what they're doing. Because they just get away so quickly. Holy shit, there actually is a lot of rogues. What the f— And if you're not playing a PvP build, you're just getting in. I guess I'm talking about the gold farmers, you know. Circle map on Crips. Oh, the Colosseum. All right, so real quick, what do you guys think of this map? Like, should it be... I'm now throwing it to you guys in the chat. What do you think of Ruins and Crips? Do you reckon they should stick with the system or get rid of it? And why? I'm now throwing it to you guys. They can stick to it, but need to fix Ruins. The map is fine, it just shouldn't be connected to Ruins. So you're saying, Uncanny Vibe, like, just make every map a single, like, rotation, like a single experience, no tier system. Because I really want people to go through, like, tiers. And even when it was just Inferno and Crips or whatever, like, many people didn't go down. It's wild. Hell almost seems empty. Yeah, even when the game was buzzing. Game is dying, revert to what works. Make it super easy to go through tier 1 and tier 2. Like possible within the first few minutes of a match. Oh, like a Tarkov system where you quickly run to like the extract and go down. But the thing is, it always waits for the whole server to go down. They'd have to change the whole system. See, there's something they wouldn't do because the whole system is based on like a time system where it's like, okay, everyone's playing the same time-based match. You get to the exit and then you're waiting for the match to follow through. So that wouldn't work. And then because of the zone situation too, yeah. Chris back in the day was action-packed, close combat. Now it's just range shit. Well, that's the problem. The experience is completely different. And so that's a mix of lots of new players back in the day, everyone being green and fresh. So it's hard to account for that because that's always you can't ever go back to the OG release days of any game. Every game at its beginning feels amazing and fresh and no one knows what they're doing. Like think of DayZ. DayZ Day 1 back in Arma 2 and the original release to like 10 years later. It's completely different. Now everyone's just a psychopath just trying to make you pull your pants down and like, you know, handcuff your nuts to a pipe in a room or something, you know? Not that people didn't do that on the release, but I digress. Let's go to the next thing, guys. I don't think we'll ever get to the bottom of that. Ultimately, it's in God's hands, right? It's in SDF's hands whether they change the system, but he's so adamant about doing a 3-tier system because they've gone back and forth on it 2 times now with different maps. Like, remember Ruins got taken out completely, then brought back in as a single map, then they made it a tier system, and now it's like a 3-tier system. Timmy says, I feel like I'm HR. In HR, there should be only red statics if they keep Ruins. Oh, so no blues out. See, when you say that, like, I'm always thinking about the teaming thing too, man. Such a big problem with this game that I think they really need to incentivize PvP, and not for rank points. I mean, like, when it comes to getting gear, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know, man. Maybe, like, you can collect the souls of other players for upgrades or something. I know that sounds mental, but you know how you have the souls? Like, even for solo queue, you can collect people's souls and go and take that back to your inventory, your stash, and it has to upgrade something. Because right now, there needs to be an incentive that isn't the demigod AP system, Mr. True Black. There has to be something where it's like, yo, I'm farming player kills to progress in some capacity in the game. Yeah, like a dog tag system in Tarkov, but in Tarkov, it's mostly a cosmetic thing, isn't it? Although you do use some of the dog tags for a quest. Yeah. I guess like a system like that. I mean, technically there's player kills in the quests of this game already, but it doesn't really incentivize, like most people don't even finish off the quest lines, right? It doesn't incentivize it enough. If there's like a passive upgrade system that isn't super hardcore on the quest, where like collecting souls is important, like killing players, I think that could really help with teaming, at least the passive teaming. There's always going to be teamers, people on Discord breaking the rules, whatever, you know? Ah. 500 kills. Make 500. Just make final quest a requirement for 500 kills. Now, again, I don't think just a kill quest would do it because there's already kill quests in the game and it doesn't help with the teaming situation. When it comes to that one, I think like a passive upgrade system of some kind, like let the devs cook on that one, but it would be some kind of like, okay, I've collected 10 hearts of players. Quickly, that helps me upgrade a certain thing or keep my points up with a merchant. Some bullshit like that, where it's something I've got to consistently do. It sounds annoying, but it's like, it's incentivizing killing players. If it's just, oh, kill 50 players in season 1. Once you've done that, you're now just teaming again. Let's go to the next subject. I saw this one while I was taking a shit the other day. I'll share it with you.
Dude, he's hacking.
The OCE server.
He's like above the floor.
Wang Meng QI4.
Wow.
Because he's like levitating. It looks like he's got double speed too, so yeah, it's cheats. Yeah. Yeah, he's speed hacking, yeah. He's zooming. He's bloody zooming. Well, you know my thoughts on that. We were talking about it earlier on, the Osh experience. Why are lobbies so dead? I haven't played since mid-January and the game seems so different. There are hardly any players in my lobbies anymore and PvP is rare. Is this because it's the end of White or did they change the amount of players in lobbies? I'm on East Coast VA servers. I got a feeling he meant... What's VA? Is that NA? Rage bait? I mean, most of the Reddit's always been rage bait, man. Let's be real. What's the gain? You don't get why people cheat? Tiny penis syndrome, man. That's really it. Or making money, like people selling accounts. Like the RMT guys, I made a video on that. Video Game Mafia, that video. That is literally why, you know, people cheat. Like that group. They're literally making money. Like they make more money than some regular job in their region. But there's other people that rage hack because they're just shit at life, you know. So the comments underneath are people say that say that, but duos have been full at 2 a.m. both east and west. You know, I was gonna say it's probably like all sweats and rats. That's one issue, like outside of dealing with teamers all the time in my region, and then cheaters in OCE, just there is literally no environment. No variety in the environment. Like if I tune into the game and I play the game and I get in the queue, pretty much always going to guarantee be playing against the same group of people. And after a while they get stout. And then if you're a content creator and you make live content like me, if you're live streaming, I can guarantee if they do not have a semblance of morals, they'll open up your stream, see what you got and snipe you for your gear. It's bloody wild because I can tell when I play this game off stream, I can tell the difference night and day. Like it's a completely different experience. Like completely different. Moving on. I'll finish up with this soon, so if anyone wants to share their thoughts on the game, this is probably the time. You're describing why you left playing Tarkov. Tarkov on and off over the last, let's say since 2019, late 2019, since the drops. Over the years, over the 4 years since then, it's on and off had big update waves of players come through and add variety to it. But after a while, it just turns into sweat or rat, yeah. But again, like I was saying before, that's a case of most games are really fun in large groups when everyone's fresh, and then it gets stale when you've just got the meta players, you know? Dark was a nice compromise from Tarkov. Well, we'll see. I don't think the next major update for this game is going to bring a wave of players back. I really don't. They'll advertise it as a wipe. I just don't think it'll bring players back. But I think if they have a lot of juicy content for a Steam release in the future, and they get the queue systems worked out and the gameplay loop, I think people will try the game again. But it will be one of those things where they've got to shoot their shot and get it right. They can't half-ass it. Steam's like that last Hail Mary. And if the content isn't there and the game isn't there, like a good gameplay loop that keeps people engaged and wanting to come back for more, people will just move on. So I hope they don't push Steam anytime soon because I just don't think it's there yet. The game just still feels like it has a bit of an identity crisis. All right, ideas for rogues, items in this game they totally don't need. Yeah, I guess like Like pickpocket, that's like a meme build thing, you know what I mean? Like they got to make things work. Although this is a bit of a troll post. I wish they made stuff like that like work. Like if you actually wanted to progress in the game, you could like roll with pickpocket, you know what I mean? But really it's just a meme thing. You just do it for lols. Like if you're just a streamer, you know, just hey, let's f around with people. That's about it. Not really gaining much out of it. Where'd I get off him? Reminder to have more features, block line of sight and ruins. More ruins ranting. So many people are ranting about ruins, man. I think one of the big issues is everyone loves crypts and they've got to go through ruins to get to crypts. Jay gets stream sniped constantly whenever I watch him. It looks so doomed. Yeah. Well, when it comes to the stream sniping thing, he's had that since get-go, but it gets easier now as the player community's dropped off a bit. So what he's getting is what I got in Osh like 6 months ago. Because that's why I always say people in NA and EU, they never get it unless I really hit it home. Whatever happens in Osh, whether it's cheaters, the country of unknown origins, or for streamers, they're getting sniped 24/7 based on player numbers or the way the game's designed. Whatever happens in Osh happens 3 to 6 months later in America on that game and its community. Saw it in Cycle. Saw it in so many other games before. Same shit. So that's why, you know, as a streamer, I try not to whinge about my own woes streaming the game, because the perception from the NA and EU community, they don't see it from my perspective. They don't experience it like I do on the OCE server. So they're just going to look at me like, oh, this fucking whingy dick, like just harden the fuck up. But then when it happens to them, they're like, fucking game, bro. You know what I mean? So I don't get too dicky about it. I just saw it in other games in the past. Just is what it is. Like I said, once there's a reason for people to come back and play the game, hopefully that won't be happening to streamers like that, where they're constantly getting sniped because there's more people playing the game. The servers are diluted. But right now, I got a feeling like if a streamer like Jay Griffey plays on prime time and there's only like 2 groups of servers at the same time, like in NA, like there's, let's say NA West, right? If I queued right now, I'd get in one lobby or the second lobby. You've got a 1-2 chance of queuing up with your favorite streamer to either toxically stream snipe them or just, hey bro, I'm just friendly. Here's a level 4 ghillie suit, you know? And streamers don't, like, it's the friendly stream sniping's fun every now and then, but when it becomes the entire experience of the game, it ruins it for them, because like they're just getting free shit or they don't have natural interactions in PvP or anything. It seems fun at first, but it gets terrible really quickly. That's why I've never encouraged it. So it went flying. The wipe should help a lot. I got a raging suspicion, dude, that it would bring back maybe another 3,000 or 4,000 players. That's like a bit of a temporary band-aid, but they'll move on pretty quick. So I'm not being a doomer. I'm just being transparent and realistic with you guys. I don't think it'll be as good as we hope, the wipe. I want to be wrong though. I'd love for the developers to just take a big sloppy shit all over my face right now and just make me look like a dickhead. Puts me on the spot, I guess. Everyone go, hey, Spuddy, you're wrong. See, bro, 100 million concurrent players on Dark and Darker on season 2 wipe. Do you feel like a dickhead? Like, I actually want to feel like a dickhead. I'm not into the whole doomer chat. I don't like being cynical, but I don't think the wipe will actually bring that many people back. I want to be proven wrong though. I'd love for the game to pop off again. It looks like they've tweaked the rock projectiles according to this clip. That was a silly mechanic where you just get like a random attack from the Cyclops and you just get insta-killed by like the whole map collapsing on you. That. It looks like it just like, although I don't know how you dodge that according to this clip. He says I may have just got lucky. I don't know. This is meme. All right. Yeah, can you drown? He's talking about the water. Anyone have a hard time hearing stuff in the game? There's a couple spots still in like the Goblin Caves that I don't know what they did with the sound, but it's all over the shop. Oh, that's a wholesome one to end on, I think. In this little discussion with this meme, ultimately that means, look, some people, they're going to play all the trendy games and just do their thing, and some people are going to play, hey, I like getting teamed on 1v4 situations in the solo queue. It's my little game. I love playing, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. That meme is you? Is that you, Stars Collide? Oh, that's cool, man. Definitely not me. I'm more in the middle. I don't play all of those games. I cherry pick the games I want to play. I don't play all the trendy stuff, although I did play Helldivers recently. Let's do this. But I naturally gravitated towards it. I watched the gameplay of it. I was like, I want to play that. That looks great. I didn't go, oh, that's the latest trend. Like, I didn't play Power World because I looked at it and I went, look, I get there's a million concurrent players, but this doesn't look like it's for me. It's not me. And people keep going, hey, Spidey, you going to play Power World? You going to play it? But I'm like, it's not for me. Dark and Dark is for me when it works. So I guess to finalize this little talkie time, right now it's not working. Let's be real. There's a reason why the players are bleeding out. It's just not working. Fingers crossed the developers can make it work. I think just a shower thought. I haven't really articulated these thoughts too much, let them marinate too much, so I might not articulate myself well. But I think for the devs to get this game working, they need less queues. There's too much spreading of the player base. You spread the player base too thin. I mean, even with the current system, because right now there's only 7 queues, right? 7 queues is still too many. Like, this game needs 2 queues at best with the current, with 5,000 active players. Like, if you go to smaller regions, 2 queues, you've split up, like, let's say OCE right now has 100 people playing out of the 5,000 average. You now have them split between, that 100 is split 50-50. Now let's actually use the real number. It's 7 queues right now. 100 players split 7 ways. Mental. And I understand why they had the queue system with normals and HR. It needed to be in the game in some capacity. But eventually, I don't know, man. This is a really tough one. Because it's the way the game works with, like, you know, gear systems and fighting people. I don't know how they're going to do it. But I know that the queue system's too much. They need to amalgamate things more. As much as people are going to hate it, they're going to be like, I just want to play Crypts all day, bro. Don't make me play Ice Caves or whatever the f. Like, dude, a Steam release is only going to be a band-aid, because what I'm going to say with my suggestions is they need to make the gameplay loop really engaging and fun. I don't feel like it's there anymore because the PvP had been asked for so long. Like, imagine you're playing anything but Barbarian up until this point. The game was just Barbenheimer. What? I know I got no armor, but f***ing hell, dude. You just play, like, in solo queue, it was just nothing but barbarians everywhere. And it was so stale and boring for so long. And the game still kind of feels that way. Like, Barbarian isn't as strong as before, but I don't know, man. The variety just doesn't feel like it's there like it used to be in certain patches. So if they released on Steam right now, again, just a premature injection of players that would then go, oh, this is fun. Oh, I love this game. A week, 2 weeks. And then they find out the meta abusers and all this, that, and all of a sudden, oh, this game isn't what I thought it was. And then they move on. And then we're back to square one. So when they release on Steam, they got to get it right. And that's why I think, like, consolidating the player base a bit more, because in the past, right, you would play against a variety of people. That's what I'm saying, consolidating the player base somehow, whether they change the queue system or the way the game works altogether, I don't know. I'm just saying, factually, statistically, even if the player base was 20,000 average, it needs to be consolidated more. Think about the playtest when you played it. You just played with anything and everyone, and you got a very varied experience, good and bad. Now it's very predictable. You go in HR, you're probably just going to constantly verse, like in NA West, you're a squad player. Right now, you're probably just going to bump into, like, the Sweat Lord, like Jay Griffey Repose crew all the time, or whoever. And they'll just roll you with a gold kit, and that's it, and that's your experience. Or you go play normals and you're bored out of your mind, you know? So somehow they need to consolidate the player base. So that's first what they got to do. How they do it, look, again, shower thoughts. I haven't thought about how exactly, but I know the issue. There has to be a solution based on consolidating the player base to be more interactive with one another, because I don't feel like a lot of people from normals migrate to HR anyway. They kind of just stick there because they like the PvP better, the people that play normals. I've seen Reddit threads where they go, oh, PvP is better in normals because in HR, you get gear stomped by certain builds, you know? Feels more balanced than normals. So then you got that issue. And then the second one, class balance shouldn't be dominated by 1 or 2 classes in trios or the solo queues for months on end. For months on end. I've been playing this game for like a year and a half now, whatever it's been, time is flying. And it always feels like there's like, all right, for 3 months, something dominates and then they pass the torch on to the next thing. And I know it's difficult balancing this game, but there's got to be a way for it to not be like pass the parcel with class. What's the dominating class of the next 3 months, 2 months? Because like if you want to play the game and not just get steamrolled, you've got to play what's in vogue right now. And for some people, that's not intriguing. Some people can adapt and they enjoy it. Like me, I always play 3 or 4 different classes. So whatever's working at the time, I'll make it work. But some people, they only want to play Wizard. Like imagine if you only wanted to play Wizard. Wizard has, obviously it's a meme now with a bonk stick, right? It's kind of broken. But up until this very moment, Wizard's been pretty much unviable for so much of the gameplay's lifespan. You know, outside of the first couple of playtests where he had a tactical nuke as a fireball, which was hilarious. But yeah, you know, like consolidating the player base, having a bit more of an even spread with the class balance, particularly in HR. And then the third one, I guess, making the raison d'etre of why are you, like, what are you doing in the dungeon? Right now, with the player base being so low, you can actually get quest locked out of the quest driven stuff. So look at the, you know, that quest that was on the Nicholas merchant? I don't know if it's shifted now because he's been removed, but there's a couple other kill quests on another merchant. Kill 5 wizards, kill 5 barbarians, kill 5 rangers, kill 5 bards. When there was like, say when wizard was off meta, like completely off for so long, and you needed to get 5 wizards, how do you do that? Other than Q sniping with a friend and say, hey, you know, let me kill you in the game. You couldn't naturally find any wizards to kill for the quest line. Like there's just things that are designed like that are impossible to do because if they're not in vogue and it's like locked out of the game for months on end because of bad game design, you can't even finish the quest line. And there's stuff like that that pulls people out the game. They go, you know what, I'll go play Power World or Barbie Adventurelands because I can't even physically do this thing in the game that I want to do right now because it's not in vogue. Like I can't finish this quest line. It's stuff like that. That's terrible. And I guess my final thought is don't add more maps and content if the pieces of the puzzle aren't put together yet. Like they're still trying to work out the 3-tier system with the maps. Make the systems feel very cohesive, then pad up the game with content. They're adding Druid to the game. Terrified. I'm terrified of it being added to the game. You know why? Because every time they add a class, it just screws the equilibrium of balance for ages and they spend a long time trying to make it work. Now you look at Bard, how messed up trio queues were for ages, and then they had to nerf him so hard that he became useless. I don't know. I don't know what they do there, but what I do know is they're the big focuses because people always say Steam release or add content. They will not fix any of the problems of keeping people engaged and coming back. This is someone who's a passionate player of the game, and I don't feel engaged to play it or make content on it. Because every time I boot up and play OCE, I just get teamed on or cheated. So I don't even get to experience the game imbalances anymore. I just get that experience. So I'm like, fudge it. So they really have to get on top of those things. Or it's just going to be this endless cycle of hearing people parrot the same thing. Oh, bro, Steam will save everything. This or that. Hey, you want to know something? Cycle Frontier was free to play on Steam. Where's that now?